Okay, we are live. Welcome to PS with Phoebe and Stephanie.
I'm Phoebe.
And I'm Stephanie. And we have a great show for you today. We have lots of things to talk about. So we're going to start off with talking about some things that happened over Christmas. For instance, Meek Mill paid bail for 20 women to get out of
Yes,
jail to be with their family. Did you hear about that?
yes. Oh my gosh, I saw that when the article came up. That was like, wow. He said that he just felt that it's the time for they have the mothers home with their children, with their families, and so I know they were excited about that. I hate that they were incarcerated, but somebody looking out for
Mhm.
your best interest. That was a
Because
real true
mistakes
act of
happen.
kindness.
Mistakes
Yeah.
happen. So
hmm Stephanie. Oh, I think we lost her. Let me see.
we are okay. There we are.
Oh, okay. There you are. Look, we have a
we
little technical
had a little bit of
difficulties.
technical difficulty. I don't know how much you
We'll get into
heard.
the technical difficulty zone in a minute.
Right, right. So, but yeah, it's great that they were able to go home because people make mistakes. They do things. I'm sure sitting in jail, you have time to think, and for someone to let you out and have a chance to be with your family, despite what you've done, that I think that was pretty awesome. That was really
Right.
really awesome.
Right. That
So
was that
let,
was some a true act of kindness.
it really was. Yeah, 20 women. So that was pretty cool.
Right.
Um, I know that we went and we handed out items for those in need over
Yes.
Christmas holidays, and it made me really become more grateful for what I
Yes.
have. Sometimes I don't want to say we're ungrateful, but we don't
Right.
know how other people are living once we get out of a certain situation, and once we move on, move to different areas, move to different uh poverty, we move to different income levels. There's still people at the old income level. There's still people who are struggling, and I have really, I won't say forgotten, but it wasn't in my face like it was the other day. So
Right.
I learned to really appreciate, people in general, and everybody has a struggle. Everybody's going through something, and so it was pretty neat. It made me really want to do more in the community and work more in the community
It
with people.
does. It
Like
does
it
because
really,
those people were so grateful.
they were
I really appreciated it.
so grateful. You know, uh, it's something to be said about gratitude.
Yes.
Uh, it really, now you remember I told you a story. I didn't get to put the clip on. Hopefully, I'll find it when I do the edit. But did you see the clip about the young man who was upset with his mother because she gave him so much? I mean, he was in tears. He was
Yes.
crying because he
Right.
was so upset. And the mom was like, I worked two jobs to give him good things. He was saying that basically he was upset with her for
She
giving
put
him
him in a
so
bad
much.
situation.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. That was a little
You
different.
can't win for losing.
Yeah. That was a
You
little
try your
different.
best to make sure that these kids have what you didn't have, or a better experience than you had, or more culture, more just a variety of things that you may not have been privy to.
Right.
And then, wow,
Yeah. And she
they
said she
come
worked
back and
two
say something
jobs.
like that.
Yeah. She said she worked two jobs. He was saying that he always had fake friends because of it. You
But see,
know?
that's another thing too. That's something. Those are growing pains as well, because even
Right.
if he didn't have anything, you're going to still have fake friends. You still got to learn how to discern those, regardless. So,
It was a very hard video to watch and to decipher, only because he had real tears. He was really hurt. So
right,
I was like, wow, that's a different perspective on having nice things. That was
Right.
a really different perspective. So, I felt bad for him because he was so hurt. I mean, he was truly voice shivering and everything. He was so hurt. And then his mom had done all that she had. When we're moms and dads too, we make sacrifices for our kids, sacrifices that our kids don't even know about.
Right.
And, for a mom to be made to feel like, oh, you did all of that. And it was horrible. You made my life horrible because of it. That's a different thing.
You can't win for losing. As they say, every generation is wiser but weaker. And no matter what you do, I think it's just truly an individual thing, because I've seen more often than not kids that don't have anything and had the hardest lives, went through all kind of struggles, are the most humble and appreciative people that you'd ever want to meet.
Right.
And kids that had normalized or regularized or, probably given a little bit or not as much, they have so many complaints, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's just crazy how we all view everything differently. That's the beautiful thing about us being about the way we're made, because we have different set of opinions. Like with myself, I love to hear a difference of opinion than what I'm thinking of, because open my eyes or enlighten me to something that I may not know. I may be looking at it one-sided or not even accepting the consequences of, others' judgments and things of that nature. But when you show me your point of view, and I can, intertwine it with mine, I feel like that's a really, really great thing. That's a betterment. That's something that I can learn.
I think that's.
I think your phone or your internet service is gone out again. I readjusted my information or my settings so I could be higher, but now you can see everything that I'm doing. I tried, and I've also just tried to share the video, and I don't see it on the page. So,
really?
That's what I've been trying to do.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah, I'm looking at you, and I'm looking at it at the same time.
Oh, okay. Because I go out, come in, go out, come in. So let me try something else.
But one thing that I think is, even when we go out right here, I think the video is still playing. I'm over here blowing my nose and all kind of stuff in the video. So now we know. Yeah. So I think it's still playing on the other side. I think we'll do it in post to see what's going on there.
Okay.
But I know it's a lot of kids on the internet. I know my granddaughter's back there playing Roblox. So internet goes slow. It's not forever,
right?
It's not limitless. The internet has its limits. So I know that a lot of kids out of school right now. Everybody's using the internet. Some things are gonna act up. So, but every, like you were saying, getting people's different perspectives is a learning experience. So just for me to hear that mom and then that son view that same situation differently, that was, I can't even put words on it, but it made me feel a certain way within my heart. I know I read Common's book, Let Love Have the Last Word.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he was in the same situation in that book. His daughter kind of felt the same way, like you weren't there. You could have spent more time with me. He felt like he was on the road traveling and doing things, so he could provide for her. So that was, that's just the way it is, I guess. People value different things.
Right. You have some kids that have never had experiences with their parents at all. Like a lot of the, you often more than not, you hear about a NFL, NBA, or some type of baseball star that never met his dad or never grew up with his dad, and when they become, stars, athletes, famous, they'll just go get their father or either their mom and just say, okay, let's rebuild our relationship. Let's work on it now. And like nothing had ever happened. The first thing that I hear a lot of them say is that we're going to start from now. Let's build on what we have now. But then you have people that, oh my gosh, I had 5 baseball games and you only came to 2. What type of person are you? And I'm like,
yeah,
okay, yeah. And then I started looking at individual behaviors that like who these people are, like who you're honing to be. You can be a grown person in your 30s or 40 years old still saying that, oh, I'm like this because I get this from you. No, you don't. No, you could.
Right.
You grab the stuff that you want to grab from a person. You take those things and say, this is what I want to apply to my life, or this is what I want for myself. But you're choosing something that you say that, oh, I want to be negative about this situation because I get this from my mother. No, you want to be like that because that's what you are. If you're grown, so you have the right to make the choices that you want to.
Don't use me as an excuse.
Don't use me as an
Don't
excuse.
use me as an excuse. You're an adult, right?
Right. So I have great, accolades and great things that I actually have going on with myself. It seems like you choosing to pick whatever you want to. I want to blame this on you. I want to blame that on you. You're not being accountable for yourself or your actions. What you're doing is just being miserable.
Right.
But the thing I learned a long time ago, I'm gonna let you be miserable by yourself. I don't have any time to indulge in negativity. We can either work on it and grow, or either whatever you feel, however you feel, take that and go on with it. I'm good with it. That's between you and God. Parents. That has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, especially with parents, because we had to be parents, but as our children get to be adults, we can relax a little. We don't have to be stringent. We can go on vacations and do stuff together and stuff like that. But when you were a kid, I had to mold you as a child and say, this is good, this is not good, this is this. But now when you make your own decisions, your life is your life, my life is my life. Your decisions are your decisions, my decisions are my decisions. Everybody is not going to agree on everybody's decisions. Right. So that has to be the way it has to work when children grow up. It really does. So I remember that I always made a conscious effort when my daughters were little. I really did not. I raised my daughters by myself. That took in. But I made a conscious effort to have jobs where I could always have access to them if they needed me. Like I was a real estate agent for that reason. So that if they needed me to go to school, I could be there in 20 minutes, Right. And I always did that. I didn't take advantage of welfare and stuff like that. So I was discussing it with my daughter and telling her, I didn't want y'all to have a pantry full of groceries and everything paid for, but y'all see me sitting at home every day. Because I wanted you to know that work is hard and you got to tough it out. And my daughter told me, she said, girl, you should have just got on welfare.
Listen, I kid you not. Okay. So one of the many places that we resided, this was my thing. I wanted my children because I don't know. I think it was just me. I saw something in them that I can't say that they don't see in themselves, or even if they want to acknowledge it. But when I tell you, those girls are so intelligent. They're like, I'll put it to you like this. One of my daughters, I won't say which one, but the middle one, she said, why did you Joe Jackson us? I said, what do you mean Joe Jackson you? She was like, yeah, we had the talent, we had the intelligence, we had all these things. Why didn't you just stay on us and harp on us and do all these things to make sure that we were superstars and have all of these, great successes in life? I said, oh, you talking about the things that you complain about when I made you can't make anything on their beat? You mean that type of situation? Or because I'm like, you're so smart, if you're in a regular AP class, and teachers see this all the time, they'll push you and say, okay, you can do better, you can do better. Or either if you're on a job, and they'll say, this is good, but I think, we can get more from you. They're pushing you to elevate you, to promote you. And you have some people that I don't want, I may be smart, but I don't want to be pushed. I don't want to be promoted. And then later on, they'll say, my daughter said to me, you should have, regardless of how we said what we said or how we felt, you should have just pushed us anyway, because we have what it takes to be all these things. Okay. Well, I tell you what, you do that with your kids now. And then you just let me know how that works out for you, because some people, matter of fact, I was watching Janet Jackson, and I noticed that all of them, when they were younger, they all complained about their dad. They called him Joe.
Right.
Every last one of them complained, oh, he's hard on us. We don't get to play. We don't get to be kids. We don't get to do all these things. And then Janet said, if he wasn't the way he was, I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be an icon, legendary, record holder, record breaker. That would not be me. But because he did not flinch, he did not waver, he pushed and he pushed, and he took away our childhood so that we can have the things that people pray about in lives.
Right.
This is how I ended up being like this. At first, I hated him a long time, where I didn't, choose this. But then when she did have a choice, what she did was, when she broke out on her own, she fired her father as a manager. But then everything that he instilled in her, she took it and applied it to her own life.
Right.
Pushed herself. And before you know it, she followed. She said she still followed his pattern. But the only thing about it is that some of the things that he wanted her to do when it came to her career as being independent, like how all of this got started, not to double back. The Jacksons fired him, Joe Jackson. Michael Jackson fired Joe Jackson. So Joe Jackson was like, oh, you want to fire me? I don't need you, no way. I got baby girl. Let me go get Janet. Let me go make her a star. And so when they did see, Janet had a buzz about herself, that's because Joe was putting her, he was grooming her. And they were like, oh,
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were like, you mean it could be another superstar other than Michael? And when Janet, she had went through a bad marriage, and she had, been pushed and stretched and everything for so long, for most of her life. When she said, I'm gonna be independent, I'm gonna do stuff for me, that's when she came out with her album, Miss Independent. That's not the name of it, so don't quote me on that, but that's what it was about, her independence.
Wow.
And she fired her father, but she got with Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam, and she got with those guys. But she applied the same pressure that her father taught her, and she went to hire Paula Abdul to give her a look, dance moves that nobody was really doing at that time, to make her phenomenal, to set her apart from all the other singers and performers. So they practiced, hours upon hours every day. Because if you listen to Michael Jordan and some of the Kobe documentaries, the only way to be the best is hours of practice, dedication. Right. You have to do all of these things. And I said all of that to say this. When I realized that, not that saying that I saw more in them than my daughter saw themselves. I just saw that you could do whatever. These are people, you could do whatever you decide to do. If you want to be an engineer, doctor, lawyer, or you could just whatever. Not too many people can decide to do that. You could be a dancer, you could play sports, you could do whatever. Because a lot of people, like the coaches or whatever in Albany, Georgia, when my children were playing softball, they would go to practice, and I would go to 3 different fields. I have to give a shout out to my cousin Roderick, because he was the one, he allowed me to use his truck, because you know those girls would be sweaty, dirty, and I throw them on the back of his truck, and I go from field to field to field. I go to all 3 of the different fields, and after we do that, we'll come home. I let them eat, and we'll go right back out and practice for hours more. But my middle daughter was the very first 9th grade pitcher for high school.
Oh, okay.
At Doherty High, yep. And my youngest daughter was the very first black girl pitcher for her school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
I would be, but that was their talent, you know what I'm saying? That was their thing. And I never will forget, my youngest daughter and I, we had a deal. We were gonna move to Atlanta, Georgia. And she was like, Mom, every year, when I tell them every year, ever since they've been little girls, I wanted them, I say, why don't you guys go out to be a cheerleader? Never. Nope, I don't want to be a cheerleader. I don't want to do that. I don't want nothing to do with it. You know, and then another thing too, as I allowed them to quit. They want to do karate. They'll do it for a little bit, they'll quit. Whatever they want to do, I let them do it and quit, because I remember when I was in school, if I didn't like it, you know, I would stick with it, whatever. But she just all of a sudden, I want to be a cheerleader. And I'm like, huh? You're going to the 10th grade. No, honey, you've never cheered a day in your life. So you never cheered. And I tell the story. I used to tell the story to my little co-workers back in the day, went to motivate them when they want to do something or get something. I always tell them this story. I said, my daughter never cheered a day in her life, but she and her friends, they decided they wanted to be cheerleaders. And so she said, Mom, I really want to do this. And I was like, we're getting ready to move. You can't. She was like, well, I really want to be a cheerleader. So I said this, and my friend Katrina, she told me all the time, a few times, like she said, do what's best for you all. Don't listen to those kids, because those kids have you messed up. So I made a deal with her. I said, okay, I tell you what, if you make the team, because you're going to be in 10th grade, that means you have to make varsity. If you make the team, we'll stay here. But if you don't, we move. And she was like, okay, that's a deal. And then she said, about 30 minutes later, she said, help me make the team. I said, girl, I don't know anything about cheering, but this is what I do know. This is what I do with anything that I want to do. When I want to be the best at something, I said, you got to practice. When you leave, because they were practice from like 8 in the morning to 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I said, you have to practice for hours. You have never did this at all. So everything they teach you at practice, you come home and you YouTube. So she will practice all day, take a break, and then she'll practice like 4 to 5 more hours every night. She did that every day. Well, it came time for tryouts. I was confident. I was trying to get my little speech together. My aunt and her granddaughters, we all walked around Lake Loretta, because I was like, yeah, we got to break it to her gently, we got to be supportive of her, because they're going to not let her get on this team, because I'm telling you, she could barely jump off the ground. When I say she could barely jump off the ground, like my niece Kia, he had already been a cheerleader, so she was ready to go. She was, so I was like, maybe, they'll take a light on her and be like, oh, So I'm getting ready for her to cry and be all sad. So I'm thinking about, let's walk around. We'll go get some ice cream, and I sit up. We'll watch a girly movie together. I'm thinking like that.
Right.
We're slow walking around this lake, girl, and she got the call. She was like, "Mom, when we get the call, they're gonna let me know if I made it or not, or whatever." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So we walk, and then boom, her phone rings. So I'm over there talking to my aunt. So my aunt and I, we over there huddled up, saying, "Okay, everybody, just, we're gonna be there for her. Give her hugs and kisses, let her know we're supportive of her regardless." This girl turned around and say, "Mom, I made the team." I said, "You got to be. Let me see these cheerleaders." So I was like, "You mean to tell me a girl that can't even jump off the ground made the varsity? You got to be joking me." She practiced every day, all day, every day.
That's
and
right.
Then she would practice 4 to 6 hours a day when she came home. So I said, "I'm not understanding. You got to jump, do a jump, do something for me."
You wanted it.
Because I want to know if you're going to be riding. I want to know, honestly, if you're going to be an extra or you are a straight up cheerleader. That girl went from barely can lift her feet off the ground to jumping up like this. She listened to me. She listened to me, took her own methods, went forward, and got down and did her thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh wow." So whenever somebody say, "I haven't did anything before, did this before, and I want to try this," I always tell them that story. I said, "Well, let me tell you the story about how my daughter never cheered a day in her life, how she made varsity. And this is what she did every day." So that's awesome. Yeah. So then they'll be like, "Oh, okay." And then she'll be like, "Oh, you telling that story again?" I said, "Girl,
but that's a
you
story.
Saw how flicking you were when you first started. I'm gonna tell you the truth. You were not varsity material when you began. But honey, I will give you your props. After you made that team, I saw that you were a true cheerleader, and I was so, I was so excited for you. I was so proud of you because I saw somebody go after something that they wanted." But that's how they are. Whenever my daughters want to do something, they'll go after it. I'm just like, my only thing is that don't let the little things get in the way. Go ahead, push yourselves to go ahead and do whatever you want to do. Like, I just decided, I woke up the other day and said, "You know what? I've been saying," and girl, it's so funny because it's a running joke in my family. That's all I talk about. So I'm gonna lose a whole lot of weight, this, that, and the other. But I said I did everything I pretty much wanted to do, except for go to Bora Bora and go to Dubai and skydive. Those are 3 things I haven't done. So, but I said, I think I want a 6-pack. Matter of fact, I want an 8-pack. And girl, one of my classmates, she has a Zumba class where she teaches Zumba. She's also a pastor, Laurel Strong, and she's been in shape forever. So I'm like, well, you know what? Let me work on that because I just want to look good in my clothes again. You know what I'm saying? I look at my pictures.
And we're in Atlanta. You can buy you a 6-pack or 8-pack. No. You know they did that?
I didn't know they did that. I don't believe in it.
Until I met somebody that had one and they said they bought it. And I was like, that's new. I had never heard of that before.
I believe you can do all of those things. Yeah.
But I was amazed. But yeah, doing it natural is the best way. It is the best way. I was amazed. I just thought I slipped that in. I was amazed that you can buy a 6-pack. That amazed me. So that leads me to one of the things on our list. Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
You know what? I don't have New Year's resolutions, but I do have motivations for the new year. So, there are things that I want to do, but I don't want to, take over the whole conversation. You begin and express some of your New Year's resolutions with us.
I do.
And then we'll go from there. I'm all ears.
I do have some New Year's resolutions. And like you said, not even New Year's resolutions, just things I'm going to start with this new year. For one, I'm going to eat better. Eat better because, health is important. And health really comes from your foods. So I want to eat better. I want to...
You went out. I can't hear you.
Just put in little fillers. Okay, there we go. Okay, so my first one was going and eating clean, going back to being vegan, getting back in the gym, doing more acting. I want to do a lot more acting and producing and getting my films done, writing another book.
You keep going out or freezing up or something.
Okay. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just working on myself, learning more, having more adventures, because I have already set up some trips for me. So yeah, this is going to be a great year. It's so amazing. And this is what's great. Last year, I manifested a lot of things. And they came to me. I manifested a lot of things, and those things actually came to me. And it's kind of strange. I got kind of like, ugh, that's what I wanted, and I got it.
Right.
So my boyfriend was like, well, you asked God for it. Why are you scared of it?
Right.
And I was like, I don't know. But it was just, it was like surreal almost. The things that I really did want, and I prayed for, and I manifested, and I listened. I got everything that I wanted. I really, really did. And so I have to be really conscious, aware, and intentional about the things that I want in my life. That's one thing that I did learn. I have to be intentional about what I really want, because I mean, it's my season right now, and I'm getting everything that I want. And it's totally amazing. I'm getting everything that I want. I'm grateful and I'm thankful. So I have to be very intentional about what I really want. A lesson that I learned is don't hold on to things that are not serving you, because when you do that, you actually take up space for something else that's new. And that has to do with anything. That has to do with where you live. It has to do with your finances. It has to do with your relationships, your job. If you hold on to something that is not serving you, you don't have room for something that will serve you. So that was a big lesson. So yeah, I have a lot. This year is gonna be great. So I'm excited. But yeah, those are things I want to work on. Getting all that done.
Those things sound exciting. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna be vegan, because this is the craziest thing about me. I can go without eating meat and not purposely say, well, I'm gonna be vegan. I just don't feel like meat sometimes. And we do that, over here. We'll just be like, oh, I want just vegetables. I don't want meat. But I do I have started putting into motion eating much healthier. Because I'm learning about my metabolic metabolic weight size, working on that, how to get rid of a lot of weight without doing all these exercises and things that don't even suit me, or not doing anything because run of the mill. But so as a matter of fact, I told you about last night, we went to Costco, and I'll go in there and just buy all their fruits and vegetables and stuff. Because I do that every other week. Go and buy a bunch of fruit and vegetables, and they'll rot inside the refrigerator because I won't even get them. But I said, what I'm going to do is start making sure that I eat them. start eating much cleaner, eating much better, and just exercise, period. Me, I like yoga. But I gotta start going to a yoga class at least twice a week versus once every blue moon. That's not gonna help me do anything. I'm like, oh, I gotta get with a yogi to show me all of these things. And girl, the yogi be like, she's not here yet. You can go ahead and cancel her because we're not doing that. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to waste any valuable time. I'm going to, because just like you, everything that I've been manifesting has been coming to light, has been coming to fruition. I have been literally getting all the blessings bestowed upon me. And, you know, I don't care who's not happy for me, because I don't even like share a lot of things with people. But man, when I tell you, God has been so wonderful, and He's so blessed, and He blesses me. Oh my gosh. It's kind of like everything that I say I want to do or I want to be a part of, it happens. It's just, I can say, oh, I want to try that. And then make a couple of calls and either tell my husband, you know, Mr. Executive Producer. I tell Mr. Exec what I want to do. He gonna get on that phone and make some calls and call us some favors, and next thing I know, it's happening for me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm excited. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm excited and I'm doing things, but I said I want to do a whole lot more. So with that, I think my only thing is I do want to I said I was gonna start spending a lot more time with close family than because everybody is so busy with their own lives, and I don't know what's going on, but something just came on my spirit and said you need to start doing this more, you need to start doing that more. And
I said the same thing too. Yeah, because we see people on Facebook and we're like, oh, I seen them yesterday because we seen them on Facebook. But life didn't used to be like that. We used to really interact with each other. You know, I have lots of cousins. My grandmother had 18 kids. So you can imagine how many cousins. You can imagine how many cousins I have. I have lots of cousins.
I have a lot of cousins too. Listen, one of my cousins, well, a few of my cousins, I'm related to twice. My husband has cousins like that too. Like, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna post a picture of one of my cousins. Now, we used to be really close when we were younger, but my cousin Newt, Winton Potts. We are always like, our grandmothers were sisters and our grandfathers were brothers. And me, when I was little, now that I look back upon those times, I could see where I was a little bit much, you know what I'm saying? And my grandparents, I see where they kind of were lenient with me, because I remember some of the things that I would say out of my mouth. Because one of my uncles had like 21 kids. My uncle Shot, he had like 20 something kids. And my grandfather and my grandmother, they had 8 kids. And their sisters and brothers would have like 12 kids. So when we would go out in the country and out in Oakville, they'd be like, where you going today? I'm like, I would tell my friends, I got to see y'all later. I'm going out here with the heavy hitters. So they mean, what you mean the heavy hitters? All these ladies and men got a bunch of kids. These are the heavy hitters. They hit so hard. Let me tell you something. They hit so hard that, like, my grandparents had 8 kids. Most of the kids only had 1 or 2 children. I kid you not. And I said, was it that bad for y'all to have? I mean, because I guess they said it was 8 of us. So we don't want to go through that again.
Right.
And he always say to my Uncle Bobby, he said, my son that's like me. And people, you know, some people get offended by it, but the only thing he meant by that, because I used to be with him all the time. He's the only one that's close to having kids like me. He had 5 kids. And my grandfather and my grandmother had 8. So he was like, he's the closest one like me. So that's all he meant, was in the amount of kids. But one of my Aunt Carolyn, she has 4. But other than that, everybody has 1 or 2. Right. Literally 1 or 2 kids.
Yep. Same thing. Even though my grandmother had 18, my aunts and uncles, 2 or 3 kids. I think 3 kids is probably the most any of them had. So but yeah,
they weren't doing it.
Get closer to. They were busy. You know, they were busy trying to make it, because I would imagine growing up with 18 kids, and you didn't have a whole bunch. You were trying to make sure that didn't happen in your life. So yeah. So that was that. I plan on doing the same thing, getting our social media a bit more,
right?
Getting into my real family life. Yeah,
I'm really living that oxymoron circle right now, because this is the funny thing. Well, you know, and I'll tell you, I say, hey, I don't have my phone on me, so you have to make it ring. If you call it, I answer.
That is true.
That's if I hear, because I could be downstairs, the phone will be upstairs. I could be down here for hours, or I could be up there for hours. My phone is in a whole nother area, and they'll be like, somebody said, "Girl, did you see what's on Facebook today?" No, but if I'm sitting there and I'm supposed to be working and I get alerts or something like that, and I'm being bad when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, then I can go back. I go back and forth on my page or whatever like that, and just have fun like that. Or if same thing at work. I'll just be so focused into my job working now. If you send me something crazy, like a crazy email, or my coworkers know, I'll be with all the junk. I'm ready to laugh. That's my favorite. They know if they want to do anything to call me or to text me or to chat me, I'm ready for everything. I'm ready for it. And they'll be like, Phoebe, did you see such? And I'm like, girl, yes, ma'am, I saw that. And then I'm supposed to be working. And we did that about 35, 45 minutes to an hour. And then the next hour I did. So I got to go back and grind and catch back up. But I'm only doing that till I win this lottery. So after I win the lottery,
I totally understand. Now, speaking of family and people, getting together, things of that nature. In our new music segment, have you heard Mount Westmore? Have you heard of that collaboration? It's Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, E40, and Too Short. Have you heard?
I love it. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, just those names make you love it. You gotta look it up. They've done some great interviews. I looked at one of their concerts and it was amazing. Just that
I'm ready for it.
That collaboration is just, and I had to go back because you forget that Snoop Dogg had his stuff, that Cube had his stuff, E40 and his stuff, Too Short. I had to go back just like I had to do with JT Money and listen to those old record. I don't know what to call them. Those old songs. I almost said albums, but yeah, those old songs, and that's some great music.
This is the thing.
That is some great music.
That's what I love about it. It's fun.
Yeah, music. It was fun, energetic music, and so all of those gentlemen, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, E40, and Too Short have tremendous hits. But that collaboration is mind blowing. It is actually mind blowing. Truly.
I'm ready for it. Listen, March 29th, I don't have this lineup correct, so help me out if you will.
Okay.
But March 29th, I'm ready for this one too. I'm ready for Ja Rule, Trina, I think Nelly.
Really?
Okay. Gucci, T.I., Jeezy. I think it's Rick Ross.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's March 29th in Atlanta. They have different spots. They go to Atlanta, LA, whatever. And so this is what you and I, this is our thing. We go to different places to see these concerts. We pick the one we're gonna see in Atlanta. And then the other ones, we go like with Snoop and Cube. Cube, my guy. we're going over there. We're going to California to their concert to see them. Because it's, to me, it's the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Not to say nobody else got it. Oh, it's not going to be a good vibe. No, but it's like when you're on the actual turf where the things go down, it's a whole different rhythm. And it is. It's the motion of it is awesome, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
That the vibe makes me think of. Remember, I sent you something earlier about the R&B Soul Picnic. I went last year. It's across the street at Piedmont Park, and it was really nice.
But which one are we going to? Because that's another thing too.
It's across the street. So yeah, free parking, because that's my thing.
No worries.
You gotta pay to park right across the street. So we have to hit the R&B Soul Picnic. So that's when is that? That is in I forget when that is. It is in March 31st and April 1st.
I gotta make sure it's not because I know in March I'll be going to Jamaica. So,
okay.
Yeah. I gotta make sure I look at the dates.
And then March. June 29th to July 3rd is the Essence Music Festival in New Orleans.
Oh yeah, we're going. We'll be working that one.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Do we really want to work there because it's gonna be so hot? It's gonna be so hot down there. And
it's gonna be inside in the super. Well, I don't know where they hold it now, but yeah.
But the drinks, you take a couple of sips, it's on them. That's the reason why the last time I went to New Orleans, I didn't have anything to drink at all, because I'm gonna tell you something. You get the drinking and it's hot down there, and the next thing you know is you like one of them old. Don't be that old woman down there doing the Tootsie Roll.
That would be everything. One drink, and it's like one drink, and I'm out.
No, with down there, it's a couple of sips, because honey,
people want to give you fish bowls full of liquor, and it's like, why do you want me to drink out of a fish bowl? Why is that? I can't get it. But people love it. People love it. And New Orleans is such an exciting city. I think it's called Boudreaux's. They have some charbroiled oysters that I absolutely love. They are delicious. So I look forward to that when I go to New Orleans. But yeah, there's also an event.
I don't know what's going on with your internet this evening, but we're gonna need you to leave that AT&T alone.
Trying to get to my phone, but yeah,
you have to leave that AT. I think you got AT&T. Is that what you have?
Or my phone?
We're gonna have to get another sponsor. For the signal, because this is not. Yeah,
it's Xfinity, but it might be the app. It might also be the app.
It could be the app.
Everything else is working fine.
Yeah, it could be the app.
It could be the app.
If you behind on your payment with them, they're gonna slow everything down. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Oh Lord!
Listen, you be like, I'm gonna pay my bill.
They take my money automatically, so I know that ain't what it is. So I think it might be the app.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
It's either the app or my location. One of the two.
Your location.
But it didn't do this last time as much, so I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. If we need to get a new app, we'll do that as well. But hopefully soon we'll be moving into our own studio.
Yes, most definitely. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yes, because honey,
I'm ready.
Yes.
Listen, I'm ready.
You talk about your husband. You ask him one thing, he get it done. My honey didn't try to get us a whole studio together. I'm like, well, hold on.
Well, listen.
He is older. He wanted to get us a whole studio. He started doing this and that. I'm like, wait a minute, we got to discuss it. We're a team. So
right, yeah. Is that that's true. That's another thing too, because
wait a minute.
He was
He was on it.
Hey, listen. Don't hate now. Get on out the way and let him work and do his thing. Yeah, let him work and do his thing, because we have to go ahead and move into a studio like ASAP. Like that's the move, because we missing out on a whole lot. Then on top of that, we're gonna have to be more persistent as well, because honey,
Right.
It'd be like, we have to do that at Tuesday at whatever time. Okay, well,
Right.
Wednesday it's going down.
Right.
Wednesday get here. Okay, Thursday.
This app is glitching a lot. But it also may be that I have probably about 40 browsers open. That may be on my part. That might be
it. But you know what though? It's gonna be like that until we get everything formatted.
That might
so
be
hopefully by the time we are in the studio,
we'll get it together.
Everything will be together. So, but yes.
So we're gonna do another broadcast this week. Is this 10/12?
Oh yes.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do another broadcast this week where we're gonna talk about The Best Man final chapter, because I did watch it.
So you did watch it.
Yeah. Do you want to do the tips to improve credit score? Do you want to do those now or on the next one?
Well, actually, we're gonna need to do that on the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give everybody something to look forward to.
But when it comes to The Best Man, I don't care what y'all do. Y'all go watch that. Like I told you, I
support
the very first one. Yeah. I started with the very first one, then I watched the second one, and then I watched the final chapters. So I watched The Best Man, The Best Man Holiday,
which made me cry. That really hurt my feelings when the casket went in the ground and Morris Chestnut started crying. I cannot handle that. I cannot. She had told him. She said that he's not going to be able to handle it when it was time. Yeah. So that
she said that
I cannot handle.
Yeah.
And then, but the funeral was so nice. Anthony Hamilton and Marsha Ambrosia. They sang that song.
I like that.
That was a great combination. So that was awesome. But yes, so we will talk about The Best Man final chapters and tips to improve your credit score on the next live episode.
And hopefully by that time, by the new year, we could be saying what new platforms you and I will have, because your girls might be on the show, honey.
Yeah.
Y'all get ready for that.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up for today, and we'll see you again in a few days.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. P.S. with Phoebe and Stephanie, the grown-up side of the culture. And we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.